Hey everybody, here we have a WZ-120 match on Abbey platooned up with Risk in his T30. Enemy team have a couple of decent players, the RU-251, obviously he's in G, he's somebody to watch out for. Their Super Pershing actually is not bad, which is surprising to see a decent player playing the Super Pershing. And their Arty is also pretty good, at least their big Arty, their small Arty not so much. So, usual Abbey strat here, heading west to start with. Risk decided to ask our T29 which gun he had, since it can be kind of hard to tell sometimes between the 90mm and the 76 just at a glance. Can't really tell until they fire. You may be able to hear in the background there's an electrical storm on outside at the moment. Thankfully I'm running a UPS, so I should be okay. I missed the shot on the Type 64, I wasn't really expecting it to hit, it was more just to try and scare him away. .1375's up in the middle. Take a shot, but unfortunately it manages to find a way of missing him somehow. I ready my next shot and take it blind, but I'm now being pushed on by the Centurion. He isn't able to aim and fire a shot in time. I guess he was waiting for his aim to settle, or he was scared of the guys behind me. Either way, I have support, so now I feel like I can push. There's the Super Pershing and the enemy T29 oblivious behind them. T29 is still firing down the low road while these two are looking our way. Now the T29 wakes up. The GW Tiger takes a shot at me, but he misses. It seems he's not shooting gold HE, which is a good thing. And all he does is slightly damage my track. So although their Super Pershing is actually one of their better players, he's not going to win a fight against a WZ-120 at close range. There's just no way. It's pretty much impossible. I outmaneuver him, I outgun him, I've got better armor in most respects. IS-3 shoots me in the back of the turret, and then it kind of spins me out for a moment, and I end up fucking my shot on the sand and then getting wrapped by the Super Pershing and shot in back from the Abbey, presumably by either the Pershing or the... yeah, actually the Pershing it had to be. I'm sure you can hear that weather. My window is actually partway open. Australian spring, for those of you who have never been here, tends to consist of very, very hot days, and then where I live on the coast, afternoon storms are pretty common, and they can get pretty violent here. It's very nice though when it rains in the afternoon after a really hot day. So the Leopard's doing something, I don't know what. He's got himself crested up on the ridge there where he's easy to shoot from basically anywhere, and he appears oblivious to my presence. I didn't expect that to hit. It looked like it must have just very barely tagged the back corner of his tank, but I'm not going to complain. Pershing makes himself an easier target, so I take him out. And the WZ-120's gun really sells itself here. Not only am I able to pen everything I see and also do a rather enormous amount of damage to it for a medium, but most of these tanks are low enough in hit points that they can be one-shot by my gun. Missed that shot on the Leopard, unfortunately he backs out from under it. The muzzle velocity on this isn't the best. It's not bad, but it's certainly no Matilda or T62. So people can dodge your shots at longer ranges with a little bit of luck. I'm lit. I'm hit by Artie. Again, he only splashes me for a little bit of damage. I don't bother about moving because really I don't see much need to. By the time the GWP gets reloaded and ready to shoot at me again, he's probably going to be spotted. So he will probably be prepping for a shotgun rather than aiming my way. M44 goes down. Risk takes up a position next to me. Just looking for shots on this Leopard, and sure enough, there he is. Risk takes out the RU-251, and I move forwards ahead, or sorry, move ahead slightly, just forwards this rock so I can make sure I have a shot ready for when the Artie gets lit. And sure enough, I managed to pop him in one shot. That's another good point about this gun, actually. It can basically one-shot nearly any tier 9 and under Artie, which is a really useful thing to have, obviously unless you low roll. Bit of a slow start to the game damage-wise, but it's certainly picked up around the end. The WZ-120 is just spectacular for late game cleanup because of the amount of damage that gun puts out and the quite decent pen on it. It's about 250 pen, I think it's 249 or something. Or actually it may even be 260, sorry. It's somewhere in that ballpark. It's enough to pen basically anything in the game frontally, put it that way. So we end the game with 8 kills between us. Our team pretty convincingly pulls this off, even though the enemy RU-251 was able to get 3 kills for himself. Not a bad match. Abbey isn't really the best map for this tank. There's just too much variance in the terrain. As you've probably noticed, especially if you've seen my other videos of it, the WZ-120 has 3 degrees of gun depression, which is absolutely fucking nothing. If you hit the tiniest bump in the ground, you suddenly can't depress your gun at all. You're shooting at the sky. So I prefer to work flat ground with this tank, but I've gotten to the point where, like with my Centurion, I can identify terrain which I can use. With this, it's finding flat terrain or downward sloping terrain, so I can just use that to depress my gun. In the Cent, it's using upward sloping terrain, so I can hold down behind it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Best of luck in the field.